Hi everyone, Toni here from Scrap Crazy with Toni. Just bringing you a quick little video today. I've had quite a few requests from friends, from crafting friends, and some from family, just about the fact that I'm well known for being a bit of a lazy scrapper. Okay, so they sort of have asked if I would be interested in trying to do some layouts or some videos and sort of explaining why I'm a lazy scrapper, but how I can still get some pretty cool layouts from that. So I'm just going to try and share this video around to a few different places. Sorry, stay with me. So how's everyone going? Hope everyone's having fun. Are you enjoying your lead up to Christmas, considering it is November and it's the middle of November, so we will be doing, you know, plenty coming up. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about the wait. All right, so we're here. I'm good to go. So let's get started now, hey? All right, so now again, my lazy scrapping, they've all said, how do I get the, you know, the layouts that I get by being a lazy scrapper? Now, basically the reasoning behind my lazy scrapping, or what I refer to as lazy scrubbing, is the fact that I won't get off my chair. Once I'm here, I'm here. Okay, so my desk, I'm surrounded by all the things that I need to reach without having to get off my chair. So I've got all my tools beside me that direction, I've got my inks with me that direction, and everything else stays. So I don't get up and get my Big Shot or any sort of Cricut or Brother scanner or anything like that. I just stay. I don't muck around with things. If something's going to take too long, I don't bother about doing it. However, I actually don't mind using fussy cuts. I will usually cut out the fussy cuts when I get a collection. Even though I don't like fussy cutting, I will do it because the effect of it when you add to a page, and the completed page looks amazing with them done. So I've actually done a couple of pages really quickly over the last couple of nights, which do qualify actually as lazy scrapping pages. This is just one piece of the background. This is the B-side of that. I've used some scraps as a mat here, again a scrap here, and I just layered with fussy cuts. Now that is a lazy scrapping page. Another one, okay, now I only used cardstock, that's all I've used for this. Stickers from a sticker sheet, all layered around here. I used a plate, believe it or not, a dinner plate, to actually go around the circle there. And this was actually I bought this. Someone else cut this out and I bought it. All right, so today we're going to do a Christmas layout, tips and tricks, and this is some leftovers from Twitch It Craft Kits. I have used the small Christmas kit and I still have loads and loads left. You can check my channel and my page. I've got loads of Christmas cards and projects and ideas. So anyway, today is just a lazy scrapping for a very quick layout. This should take me maybe half an hour or so, and we'll get started. So I'm going to use the point siennas from Christmas Market, made by Cardabella. Just going to cut off the tags to start with. And this one is Festive Florals. Again from Christmas Delivery, made by Cardabella. And its B-side is obviously the Festive Florals. The point sienna B-side is a dark with red point sienna, or flowers of some sort in there. Okay, hi to everyone watching. Thank you very much for dropping in today. Now I'm going to use some 3D effects, which means I am going to need some chipboard, and I do use a different cutter when I cut my chipboard and when I use any sort of plastic like acetate or vellum or anything like that, as it does tend to dull the blade. So what I'm going to start with is I want this green, and I want it to be, usually I would, you know, cut some of this out and keep some for layering and things like that. Today I'm not, however, because I really want a good solid base. I'm going to start with a 1-inch frame right around. So I've just got a Kaiser Craft cutter. I think I just picked it up from somewhere like Spotlight or somewhere like that. You can get them at local scrapping stores. And of course, cutters, there are so many cutters on the market. It is, honestly, it is personal preference. There are cutters sold by the companies, like the multi-level companies like Kazaz and Stampin' Up and things like that. And what you're willing to pay for it is what you should be using. Now, everyone has a different budget, so please don't feel like you should have to use a $120 cutter. Mine was about $29.95, I think I got with a coupon or something like that, when it was on sale at Spotlight. So we don't have any craft stores here locally. I do live in central Queensland. I live in Yeppoon, in a little coastal town, and we don't have anything locally that is a craft or a scrapping store. We do have to go to Rockhampton, which is only about 25 minutes away, to get anything. Again, it doesn't really have much of scrapping, a scrapbook store either. It's pretty much just got, yeah, you know, Spotlight, and that's almost about it. You found this to be the, yes, Tanya, yes, I am a big fan of this. I am very heavy-handed, however, which means that I do go through my, what's the names quite often, you know, the replaceable mat, the cutting mat things. I do go through them probably far more than what I should. The blades are great. I do have spares, but I don't change them that often, to be honest. I do try to look after my blades. I try not to do anything that will dull them. So if I have anything, like if I want to cut multiple of something, I actually use an entirely different cutter. I've got an American Crafts cutter, and it's quite a big heavy duty one. This is the one that I will use when I'm cutting multiples, especially when I need that heavy duty, and it goes right out to 19 inches. It actually sits underneath my desk, and it doesn't get used very often. This is a very old Fiskars cutter. The poor thing is falling apart pretty much most of the time. And it only gets used for chipboard and vellum, or anything that's sort of that plasticky, transparent sort of thing. You know, it's just, it is what it is. It does the job I need it to do to protect my main cutter. So because the frame is 1 inch, I'm going to cut out chipboard to put behind the frame to have it sturdy, and I want it to pop up, remember? So I'm going to cut it. So I've actually got a very crooked cut up the top there, so I'm going to have to flip that. There we go. I'm going to cut this at 3/4 of an inch. Hi Shannon, oh, watching from Phoenix in Arizona. Didn't know I do this. Well, I don't really, but I have been asked to start doing some more. So that's sort of what I'm gonna try looking into doing. So I do need 4 of those to go right around for my frame. And Shannon, I've been asked actually in the group and by a few other people as well when I was at a retreat lately, and people are saying, because I say all the time, I am a lazy scrapper. And they're like, well, how do you get the pages you get while being a lazy scrapper? To me, being a lazy scrapper actually means that I don't get up. I don't get up, I don't move, I don't use my machines. You know, if something's too hard, I don't worry about doing it. I am very fast as a scrapper. So obviously me talking and getting through this, I would actually be quite a bit quicker doing this normally, and I would have had it all slapped together, the frame slapped on and together by now. But I do want to still do it still fairly quickly, but without missing any steps. Just so you guys know that, you know, layouts don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be, you know, 110% every time. Now, I choose to use both tape and glue. This is a Central Queensland thing, I believe. It is hot and humid here. Oh, I'm just throwing things. Hot and humid here, and sometimes the tape can let go. Sometimes even the glue can let go if you don't have a really good quality glue. I personally like the Tombow glue. It is getting harder and harder in Australia though to get hold of this glue. But it is my favourite, so I go to great lengths to find it. Okay, so I'm just putting down each of these. Now you guys, you know, I've seen lots of people use foam tape for this. Again, your poon doesn't have access to really good quality stuff, and I'm certainly not going to waste the little stuff that I actually have on a project like this. Mind you, also, when they cost $7.50 a roll, and when you're doing, you know, 12 inches 4 times, it can take up the roll very, very quickly. I usually use Express-It tape. I am out of Express-It tape at the moment, so I am using a lower quality tape. However, I have found that this is like really, really good. It's just as good as the Express-It, and it does hold. Amazingly, it does actually hold. So Shannon, how's the weather over there? So Phoenix, Arizona. You guys, I believe, from talking to the ladies yesterday, I Zoom crop with some ladies in America each week, which I absolutely love. And I believe it's just starting to cool down a little bit over there. However, they're still having some warmer days in the mid to high 20s, well, our high 20s, very low 30s. We, of course, are just starting to warm up. And over the weekend, we had a little bit of a heat wave, which got to the mid to late 30s over here. Of course, I'm talking about Celsius, which I think over there is like, so our weekend, I think like the high, or no, the around the 30 mark, I think is roughly about mid 80s to low 90s or so. And then once we hit mid 30s, I believe that goes into the 100 range Fahrenheit over there. I think. Don't take it as gospel. It is cooling off. That's good. All right. So, and again, I eyeball everything. I've noticed that is still around there. Now, eyeball everything. If something's not correct, it doesn't matter. We can always fix it up. But I do try to at least make sure it's going to be correct, okay? Now, I do know quite a lot of people that when doing frames like this, they will only tear a little bit off here and leave the rest of the tape like that. So, you know, they'll only take this bit off and then leave the rest on so they can line it up and all that sort of stuff. I'm a lazy scrapper. That takes too long. I couldn't be bothered doing that. Okay, from out of here, so what I would like to do is maybe make a bit of a flip for a photo here, and then I'm going to do just a basic matting thing here. So again, because it's now all popped up, I love that 3D effect in it. still high 80s during the day, 60s at night. Yeah, see, that's perfect for us. That would be really, really lovely here. Okay, so I'm going to measure that at 7 and cut through. And then we're going to fold it in half, because that is actually a 10 inches. And now by 7, and then as we fold, it's going to be 7 by 5. Now you can use your bones or a bone, you know, folder scorer thing. I'm lazy. I use my pick for everything because of my nails. Yes, they are my real nails. But because I do have an acrylic sort of nail polish on top, and obviously I am due to get my nails done again this week, because they're harder, they sort of make them a bit thicker, and I struggle to pick the tape off the actual paper. So I have just resorted and have now, it's just a muscle memory thing now that I just use my pick. But I use it for everything. I use it to score and that sort of stuff. So, you know, it is what it is, and that's just normal for me now. All right, so using this other paper, I'm going to lay down, just trying to think whether I want to mat it or if I'm going to try and put that in there. No, I think I'm going to go in. Yeah, I will. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to take a few inches off this, and I'm going to make it, so that was 10. I'm going to make it 9. 9 by, probably 9 by 9. Yeah, 10. Yeah, it's just something that that works for me. It may not work for everyone, but with my nails, I actually quite like having sort of longer nails. I am a nail biter, so having long nails is sort of a fun thing for me, and it's part of, you know how you say, you know, you got to take care of yourself. It's your personal help, you know, self-care thing. I just like long nails. People have said to me before, like, why don't you take them off? Well, I don't want to take them off. I like them. And again, they are actually my nails, so there's nothing to take off. It's just that I have to I think about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I just have to get them cut back. So I just roughly get them cut back a little bit more. My nails do grow very, very quickly, and that's sort of all it is to it. So I would like to add something to the back of this. Obviously, I am doing a lazy scrapper, which means that I will not be getting off my craft desk. I am going to lay this down first and stick it down. Now, I generally don't stick things down too fast. I want to know where they're going to go before I start sticking. And again, lazy scrapper, I'm very, you know, mismatched when it comes to tape. I just throw it down there, because don't forget, I do double up. I use the glue as well. So where this tape misses, the glue will get. Again, I'm just eyeballing this. I am not measuring at all. If it's crooked, totally fine by me. You really have to take out that pressure that some people get, or that you get, you know, other people might get with having everything perfect and measured and lined up. It's okay. Don't stress. It is creativity, and it is what you want to do. Now, I'm thinking about putting some red down. Now I'm going to, now again, I'm not getting up. This was all right here. My ink is on my desk with me. Oopsie daisies, sorry about that. My little water bottle. And I'm going to do a bit of dropping and splashing. Now this is just to give it, oh, it's everywhere now. This is just to give it a bit of that extra red that's in the pattern paper. Because if you've got something somewhere, then you need to make sure that it's somewhere else as well. And then with a wipe or a tissue, something like that. Now I'm actually out of wipes, so I'm gonna have to go into the storage that we've got in our spare room and grab some extra wipes, but I do have a box of tissues here, so that's good. Now you can use a heat gun. I'm a lazy scrapper. Although my heat gun is right next to me, I'm a lazy scrapper. I'm just going to wipe that up with a tissue. And you see that I'm not, you know, wiping it, I'm just dotting it. Because if you do wipe this stuff, it will literally just smudge the whole page. Okay, that looks good. And you know what? It's actually dry, look. It's actually dry, which is very cool. Okay, so I'm going to lay that down there, and that one's going to fit there like that. No, I don't think that's going to work. No, that's not going to work down there, so we're not even going to bother. Okay, again, so I do want to pop it all up. Okay, Shannon, so today is Monday, and I can't even tell you what time it is because I don't have a clock in front of me. But it is Monday. I think it's roughly lunchtime. I'll check. Yes, it is 1 o'clock Queensland time. So when I join in the Zoom sessions, Shannon, that is a Thursday and a Sunday for me when I join in with our awesome Zoom sessions. So I just cut that cardboard at 3 inches, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to have to wait and check to see what length I need it. This one I'm going to cut at, let's go 4.5, and it needs to be just under the 7. So let's go at, let's say 6.5. Okay, so that is going to fit on the back here nicely like that. Again, you guys can use foam tape. I have run out of foam tape. I'm not going to use my really expensive stuff on this because almost a whole roll of that Express It tape would, you know, I'd be using almost a whole row on just this project because I want to put so much on it. Now, I want to keep that nice and sturdy, so that is the reason why I have put so much chipboard on the back there and put like a whole piece instead of using, you know, just little bits around the edges. Okay. So we're going to lay that down roughly. We want to make sure that we've got a good, even though I'm not measuring perfectly, I am still just eyeballing it. I do want to make sure that there is going to be a rough match though between them. There we go. And then this one I'm going to want to cut, I'm going to want it to be roughly there. Again, I'm not even measuring this. I'm just eyeballing it, guessing it, lazy scrappering it. Line that measurement up with my cutter. Oh, goodness me, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to end up with, that's actually dead on 8.5 inches. So you know what? I've been scrapping for so long now that even just eyeballing it, I can sort of still guess what the mats and measurements are going to be. This one here I am going to have to cut down, so we're going to have to cut that down to about 8. Again, I changed my cutter. Oh, and I've just let in a whole bunch of scraps from my scrap box. Do apologise for that. Okay. Now make sure that when you line up your measurements, no matter what cutter you're on, you don't ever line up your measurements to here. You always line up your paper to there. Okay. So if you were to line the top up to here, you're going to get a very crooked. See how crooked that is? You're going to get a really crooked cutter. Always line your measurements up on your top piece. Now all cutters will have the same thing. Same as my Kaiser Craft one. So when you're making a measurement, you know, like if I were to do this and then line it up here, again, it's only a small crooked, but it is definitely crooked, okay? If I were to measure that up on there, so 11 inches and it's crooked. So always put it up flush to the top there, and that's where you, so just slide it out and then cut. But always do it to your top and not your actual line. So I like to clean up my space as I go, which is probably one of those ways of making sure things are out of the way. Again, lazy scrapping, so I want to be able to get the most out of my time and my laziness as I can. If I have to sit here and try to find things, well then what's the point? I like a clean desk. I actually tidy my desk up before and after every single project. I go to bed at night with my desk being perfectly clean and tidy. It's just one of those weird things that I do. I very rarely let scraps or you know, rubbish just sit on my desk. They always find their way into the bin, which is underneath my desk. And I find I actually have everything also has a place while I'm scrapping. You'll see that I continuously put my glue down there. I continuously put my pick on this side. My tape is always goes back down here. Inks and stuff like that always get put down on my right. Now everyone sets up their tables to be completely different, so it's totally up to you how you set up yourself. I myself just prefer that way. Off to the side over here, I actually always have the papers that I'm going to be working on. Over this side is the scraps and the rubbish, things like that, just for easy access. All right, so that's, you know, the basic part of the layout actually done. All right, and then I'm going to bring in a little container full of offcuts that I've got. So these are done from the fussy cut sheets that come in the, so again, I did this with the Christmas craft kit from Twitch It Crafts. This was the Christmas one, and in it you get some bonus mystery pages, and they just have a loads of fussy cuts and stuff like that on them. The tags, I believe, actually come with the kit. So this was just, I did fussy cut a whole heap of them when I was working on my projects, and I still have quite a bit left. I just love that. How cute is that? I won't use it, but it's still so cute. So I actually used that for one of my projects. And I didn't use a cutter. I did not use a cutter. I simply cut a 1 inch. I cut a 1 inch strip, and I think it was roughly about 10 inches long, roughly. And then with my scoreboard, I scored at every half an inch and then just slowly folded it in and out like a rosette to put it together. So again, I do actually have the die cut. I have a Tim Holtz die cut for this, but I wanted to make things and show people that you don't need die cuts and cutters for these sorts of things. You can just cut them out while you're sitting at your desk. Okay, so this is going to be probably for this year, so I'm not going to put a photo on there, but it is going to be a 2020 photo. Now I just need to make some sort of title or embellishment down here. I love to layer clusters. I have great fun. I'm still learning though. I have to be honest, I'm still learning. I'm still not that great at doing clusters. I do get quite a few compliments and for my clusters, and it's sort of, I don't know, I panic a little bit because I don't think I'm very good at them yet. However, with that being said, I'm still, you know, it's years and years that I've been trying to figure it out, and I think I'm still learning all the time. No matter who you are or what you've done, you're still learning all the time. I'm actually going to cut that out because I just think that is super cute. How far do I want to go with this cluster? See, I'm bringing that red in from the background and the splashes, so we need to make sure there's red. No, I think we stop there. So sometimes I do tend to go a bit over as well. You need to know when to, you know, when enough's enough, when to just stop. Now I've got several scissors. Please don't think I'm weird. This is just from, I'm 34. I've had a scrap room since I was 16 years old. Okay, I actually have more than this, but this is just what I use all the time on most projects. So this is like my everything scissors. I will cut vellum, I'll cut my chipboard with this. Now when my chipboard pieces get too small, I've actually got a little container here in front of me that I will throw them in there, and I've got easy access to that. So this is like my everything cutters, all right? I love these, they do everything for me. And then we come to our straight paper and our ribbon cutting, all right? So these are really sharp, and they're just like, they actually have a bit of resistance to them, and I just love them because they do a really nice, clean, crisp cut. Then have a guess, what do you reckon they are? Look at all the markings on them, and of course they're super old. These are my double-sided tape scissors. So if I have some dodgy old, not very good double-sided tape or foam tape, then I use these. If I have ran out of Express It foam tape, which I can usually just cut or tear and it's no problem, but if I've got the really crappy stuff that come from the $2 shop and it sticks everywhere and I've got no choice but to cut it, then these are the scissors that I will use. Anything that has glue on them, they're the ones that I use. And then I come back to my fussy cut scissors. All right, so these are Couture Creations. I actually don't mind using these scissors. However, I think I've got a dud set. They've got a bit down the bottom here that catches, and it leaves it sort of shredded. It doesn't leave it very well. But the rest of the scissors are quite good. Although I don't like how they bend. Can you see how they sort of bend? I don't like that. So I do use them for all my fussy cutting, but I'm not totally in love with them like I am these. I love these. I am in love with these. And I think I probably got them like from Big W of all places. So when I am doing straight fussy cutting, I just go straight to these. Because of the bend in the Couture Creations one, if I try to cut straight with the Couture Creations one, the yellow set, they will just, I cut this direction. So it's easier just to go for the straight scissors and get a straight cut. So thank you very much to everyone joining. Again, I've been asked to do do a series of my lazy scrapping. Now I'm just going to straighten these up, and I will be bringing a few videos to everyone for card making and scrapping and that sort of stuff, to try and just to encourage people. You know, it's okay if things are a little bit quicker. It's okay if things aren't perfect. It's okay to eyeball. It's okay to not produce something awesome every single time, because you know what? It actually still turns out really, really cool. They're just not over the top layouts. You know, they're simple layouts that beginners can do and that the most experienced come back to do, because everyone needs a back to basics sometimes. And that's pretty much what these lazy scrappings will be. Back to basics, nice and easy. Okay, so I'm now going to, you know, when I do my clusters, I try to sort of layer them first, get a rough guess of what I'm going to do. Usually I'll take my phone and have a quick photo. So, you know, like we'll pull that out and have a quick photo. Obviously I am streaming the video, so I can't do that. When I have a really big cluster, like the layouts I showed before, so I will admit that I did this on a video and I just laid them down. I just threw them down, did not even stop and plan, I just threw them down. However, with this one, when it's a cluster everywhere, I did sit on this and really play and move to make sure everything was where I wanted it to be. And to be honest, I actually took things away from this cluster as well. I would really like to fill this space. I'd love to have something else down here, maybe even something here, but it comes to a point where you have to stop. Clusters look amazing, but you do need to know when to stop. So I'm just going to have a very simple cluster here. Let's have a go. We'll double side tape the red to start with. Again, I'm not putting a whole load of tape and glue on there, but it is definitely enough so that it sticks. Every page project is a masterpiece. Yes, getting scrapbooking done, and I use scrapbooking as a creative outlet. It's almost a little bit like a therapy for me. I do quite a bit of different paper crafts, cards and scrapbooking of course, but I do other things like altered art and mixed media, journaling, that sort of stuff. I'm not a pro by any chance, please don't think that at all. This is just me and my creative journey, and I love for people to come along and join me. And you know what I love even more is, please do share your projects with me as well. So, like I said, with my big scissors, they do everything for me. They are fantastic. And they go there. Now, there is no way that I would cut these sorts of things with my fussy cut scissors, because they are just far too delicate, and we do need to keep them nice and sharp. Okay, so today I've purposely not given you like an over explanation of measurements. I've purposely not wrote down measurements for you or anything like that. This isn't a page that, you know, I'm saying go and do this page and, you know, make it the same. I'm saying go and be creative. This is my version of lazy scrapping. I would love to see what you do. You can do over the top stuff and I will love it just as much, I promise. I will just love for you to share and show us what you do. Okay, now I'm going to glue that. Actually, no, I've got thinner tape in here. So now I will pull out my espresso tape. Much neater and cleaner. I'm going to overextend that. And wrap it. Now I do know that I have been sort of encouraging others to come out and show their works with, like, you know, with their own videos and stuff like that. It has been so exciting when people say you make it look so easy, and you know, like, you've now encouraged me to do it. That's awesome. Please do know that I would love to see your projects or your lives. So feel free to share your pages with me if you're doing something like this. It is quite easy. I've just got an iPad up the top here. I've got my phone next to me just so I can watch, just in case anyone comments. I certainly don't expect people to comment or anything like that, but it's just there in case. Hunter and I have do our little kids craft at home sessions, and they've been such a massive hit. We are getting anywhere between 600, 700, 800 views per video of those videos, and they're reaching thousands of people. So again, just a little town in Yeppoon in central Queensland, and we're having a massive reach with our creativeness. Now our kids crafting sessions, the ones that we're doing at home, they're just sessions for the kids to do with things from around the house. So the first session we did one with shaving cream and food coloring. The second was with bubble wrap and paint. The third was a canvas and paint, and I showed different ways of what to do with that. Now everything we should have had either around the house or really cheap at the $2 stores, local stores. All right, that you can just pick up. All right, so there we go. So that is pretty much almost the whole page done. Now when I will come and add the photos later on, I will probably add in a title as well. Good chance it'll just say something like 2020, you know, 2020. My photos will sit here, and because this is a 5x7 mat, I will have to cut down the photos just ever so slightly to be like 4 3/4, I think. So let's quickly, while I'm talking about it, let's just quickly put that on so at least you can see what I mean. So it'll be 4 3/4. Now I'm actually going to keep this little off cut because I do want that off cut. 6 3/4. Now I've made this layout with only 2 pieces of pattern paper. Of course, if you want to, you know, if you wanted to add more paper, then definitely go ahead. So that's going to be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 photo, and that's going to be on all 3 of them. So I'm only putting a really small piece of, like, it is very small piece of double-sided tape there, because later on when I add my photo, it means I can just lift it up and I haven't damaged any of the paper underneath. Now, if I was going to be doing this for a DT project, or if I wanted to add some more to it, so this is the basics of it, okay? If you want to add more to it, then of course, definitely do. Grab out some red from your stash. I would matte both of these, you know, like matte the whole thing. So then you've got a red border behind there. I'd probably border this as well. You could then put some of the pattern paper on top of here to make that a matte, and then double or triple or quadruple matte it with a bit of red on here as well. You can grab some of this and tear along the edges and just add a small border on one or two of the sides. It does, you know, whichever you'd like to. You also have some stickers. So these are the stickers that I've got left over from my other projects. Okay, so you can add stickers on to the embellishments. You could grab the border down here, put it down, and add stickers on here to make clusters and embellishments. Okay, so there is still loads of stuff that you can do. If you wanted to make this into an over-the-top scrapbook page, keep adding, keep layering. All right, so you could have even had a pattern paper behind here just to sort of keep going. But for now, I think that's about it. I might even make a time-lapse video of a layout using this design, but making it a more over-the-top layout, but still with the basic rules of lazy scrapping. So still using the basic rules of not getting up off my chair, only using what I've got within reach here at my desk. And I will tell you, I am in like a little U shape here. I have everything around me that I need within reach. All right, so I just need to lean over and I can grab all of my cardstock off pattern paper, all of my tools, all of my cutters. I've even got my 6x6s and my sprays, my mixed media. Everything is right next to me. My washi is just up there in that direction. Everything is in like a little U shape around my desk. So again, that is it for today. That is my lazy scrapping. Very simple, very easy. I will, now I've thought about it, I will definitely make a time lapse for a second version of this with some more layers, which will mean more papers and more cardstock from my own stash. This was simply using 2 pieces of pattern paper that I had left over from the small Christmas kit from Twitch at Craft Kits. And I think I've produced, I think, like 9 projects or something like that, plus now 3 layouts from that kit. And I actually still have a handful of things left. So I still have some stickers. I still have 1, 2, 3 full full 12x12s. That is an A4 size. I've still got loads of fussy cuts and quite a few of the, you know, scraps as well to go. So I've still got more projects left to make, so do keep an eye out. But for me today, that is my, this is why I like to keep things clean and off my desk. So that is my lazy scrapping for today. Thank you very much for joining me. And I'd love to see what you think of lazy scrapping. Yes, quick and easy. All right, thank you very much. Thanks, Shannon. Thanks, Tanya. And thank you to everyone else for coming and dropping by. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.